What's going on, everybody? Happy Easter! It is Sunday, April the 20th, 2025, 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Happy Easter! I realize I didn't... My lights over there, I think, burned out. That's all right. Happy Easter, everybody. Hope you're having a good Easter. Hope the bunny was good to you. Nothing says Easter like Freddy Krueger and a nightmare on Elm Street. I thought, why not do an Elm Street watch-along today of one of my favorites in the franchise, celebrating its 40th year anniversary this year. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, the scariest Freddy, the darkest Freddy, the best makeup. I got the timestamp up there. You can watch along with me if you want. I'm watching off of Amazon Prime. And yeah, you can watch along with me. If not, you don't have to watch along with me. That's okay too. That's completely all right. No biggie. We'll see if anybody rolls on in. Maybe not. I don't know. Brandon Collins is here. Great to see you, Brandon. Chester Franklin Jr. Wilson Matt. I think Michael Dammit. Brooke Scarlett. Great to see you here, Brooke. Look at these members. Look at these crazy members. These members. Members! I think we're at 115 members right now. On our way to 130. That's my goal. 130 before the, well, I'd like to get to 130 maybe by the summer. We'll see. I don't know. We're doing all right. Doing pretty good. I got a member-only Q&A coming up soon, by the way, too. And I might be pushing out a member-only video soon as well. Or a member-first video soon. Anyway, it's good to see you guys here. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, as I said, Freddy's Revenge. One of my favorites. It's funny, this didn't get a lot of love. You know, when I was a kid, growing up, it was known as the gay one. The gay one, right? But I think in retrospect, in time, it's gained much more respect. It still does play a little fast and loose with the rules. But I don't think there's any denying that the makeup by Kevin Yeager, the look on Freddy, it's got in my opinion, the best opening dream sequence of the entire franchise with the school bus and the ground giving way and how dark Freddy is. And I mean, it's absolutely iconic. There's a lot of iconic moments in this movie. The story maybe not the best, but Freddy is firing on all cylinders in this movie, and it's arguably why it's my favorite version of him. And part one, I love part one, as well. But my favorite version as well. Power Packers member for 20 months. Thanks, buddy. Says, hey, Dave, happy Easter. Ready to watch this, my second favorite Elm Street movie with you and the friendos on the chat. Do we know who the guy playing Freddy in the gym shower is? Always wondered. Somebody, I guess somebody probably knows. I don't know off the top of my head. But, yeah, if Robert didn't come back, that could have been it, folks. That could have been it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy to think that. But, yeah. Brandon says, got both my TVs fired up with you on one and the movie on the other. Let's fucking go. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Brooke Scarlett. It's great to see Brooke here. Geeked Out Turtle fan. Ryan Allshow is here. Michael King is here. Great to see you here as well. Alex Schambach is here. Power Packers 90, of course. Scott, Miss Kelly. Love it. Love it. You guys are rolling in. Again, we'll see if anybody shows up. I don't know. I don't know. Not too many people in the chat room right now, but we'll see. The timestamp is there if anybody wants to watch along. So let's do this. I'm going to bring it up on the screen here. So I'm watching it off of Amazon Prime. I am paused with the New Line Cinema, logo up on the screen. So not the one that's got the two film strips and that's what's up on the screen at the moment. It's paused. That's where it is. So if you want to line it up, I'll give you a few moments to line that up with me, and then we will be together. I guess I should, what I'm thinking? I should probably, again, I'm watching it off of Prime. Let me start the timestamp and get to 11 seconds because I realize, okay, good. I'm going to get to 11 seconds because that's where it is with the logo. I just realized that. And there. Okay. So that's good. That's good. Good. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Josh McKenna. Hey, Josh, what's going on? Josh getting the super chat started. Josh sends in $9.99. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Says, can't stay long. Just want to say I love your polls you've been doing, like the Art the Clown and the What's Creepier at 3 a.m. polls. Yes, 2 polls that were part of my member-only polls. Yeah, I'm planning on doing more as well. And so, yeah, no, they're fun to do. I'm trying to, do some different stuff. And I have another editorial video coming on Halloween 5. I've talked about Halloween 5 ad nauseum, but this is not in this format. If you have been paying attention to the videos I've been uploading over the last week or two, they're short sort of video essays on certain topics. I did Art the Clown. I've done PG-13 horror. I've done how, the movie-going experience has lost its sort of, luster. What was it? I did a Halloween one. I got another Halloween 5 one coming, but I really tackle sort of the real structure issues of it in a more less theatrical Dave McRae way. Like, it's not a 30-minute video where I'm on camera. It's a real essay kind of, thing. And they're fun to do. And so I got that coming. So look out for that as well. Thank you, Josh. Really appreciate that. I was trying to figure out a way to have, when somebody sends in super chats, I was going to have like different little things that pop up when people do, like little kind of like noises or funny things that are said, but I haven't gotten around to adding them to the board yet, but I'm planning on doing that soon, because that might be kind of fun. Somebody sends in a big super chat or a small super chat, but it's you different little fun quotes from movies or something. It might be kind of fun. It helps the engagement, things like that. All right, let's do this. Here we go, folks. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We are watching A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Oh, look at this opening. One of my favorite openings of all time. I mean, this is, the school bus. Ooh. Love it. Love it. This is great. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Not a fancy title. The Freddy's Revenge. It's almost like Die Hard. The title of Die Hard kind of comes up with this silver kind of looks like that. Freddy's Revenge, Kim Myers. This is, I don't know, is this Genesee Avenue? I don't know if it is. It looks like it could be, maybe a little further down. Now, for those of you that may not know, if you haven't picked up on it, you probably do by now, but that's Robert Englund driving the bus. That actually is Robert Englund. If you pay attention and take a quick look right here, ready to close the door. There he is, good old Robert, doing the old, what's going on? He's driving the bus. And of course, we know that now because Robert Englund in the world of horror is a household name. But back then, nobody knew who Robert Englund was. I mean, they knew him. I know he was on V, and I know he was a character actor, and I know that he had done the first Elm Street. But to see him, I guarantee you, most people who went to the theater to see this film, when they saw the bus driver go like this to the last, kid, nobody in the eyes, that's fucking Freddy Krueger! That's Robert Englund! That's Robert Englund! That's Robert Englund! No, nobody! It wasn't happening. Nobody. And so now, of course, we get it because it's like, it's kind of cool. But looking back on it, it's pretty cool. Sal Wayne's Knight says, this, in my opinion, is the true best Freddy line. Help yourself, fucker. Help yourself, fucker. Yeah, it's a great line. And I remember watching this in the 80s. I mean, I was obviously much younger. I was 6 when this movie came out. But this is my street kind of looked like this, and I always thought, even at a very young age, I thought the girl on the left here, they're both attractive, but the one on the left, I thought was really cute. And I remember thinking, even as a young boy, going, she's really cute. I don't know who she is or if she's even acting today, but I remember thinking that. She has the girl next door cute look that I was into, even as a little boy. This definitely has, again, like I said, one of the best opening dream sequences of all time. Bus going off. It's absolutely fantastic. Na, 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 na. And I mean, Jesse's looking rough. But this is so great. This is so great. You know, and what's cool about it too is, like, you know, I often say it looks like a Salvador Dali painting. If you know who Salvador Dali is, he's a surrealist painter. And if you've ever seen any of his paintings, the image of the bus and the ground giving way, and the bus is just teeter-tottering on these two, like, pillars, and with lightning flashing around. I mean, it is so surreal. And it looks, I've always said it looks like a Salvador Dali painting. It's so awesome. So awesome. And this moment when Freddy just gets up and you just hear, it's so good. The ground, I mean, again, I think there's a lot of cool dream sequences and opening dream sequences in this movie or in the franchise. But I was, yeah, I remember thinking I felt bad because I wanted to go and save her. I was like, oh my God, I got to go save her. I'm like 7. I'm like, I got to go save that cute girl. Nope. I wonder if she was just in this. I wonder if she had a career after this. I don't know. I don't recognize her. Unless she's been in a ton of other shit and I just don't recognize her. Michael King, only Halloween, The Exorcist, Nightmare 2, Freddy's Revenge were the ones that truly scared me to my core. Fascinating. Yep. It's good stuff. Look at that. Look at that shot. It's a great shot. It's a great shot. That just looks so surreal. And I've got that on my wall, actually, in upstairs. There's a viewer of mine sent me they blew it up and got it printed. It's so cool. Look at this. Just that guttural. It's so great. And now it's so great. Like, look at that. The lava and those are miniatures. Those are miniatures. It's so great. Oh, yeah, and you don't see his face. You don't see his face. It's in shadow and it's dark. The bus teeter-tottering. You know, the girls try to... Jesse not doing anything to help them. I'd be helping them. Look at that. And the slow build of that music, the crescendo. Look at that shot where he's like that. Oh, that split lighting on the side. Yes. Fantastic. And then his scream from way upstairs. Ah! I love it. I love it. I love it. Daz says, 2 opening is probably most creative, but 1 is so iconic to me. Oh, it is. It's iconic. I'm talking purely from a visual standpoint. The visual of the opening of part 2 and how dark Freddy is. I mean, it's just so terrifying. There he is. Woo! That's some serious dreaming right there, folks. Serious ass dreaming, I'm telling you. Serious ass dreaming. Tighty whities. He's in his tighty whities. Rhino Destructo says, I still don't like part 2 at all, but I do love the opening bus scene. Do you like Freddy in part 2? What don't you like about part 2? It's okay if you don't like part 2. I'm just curious in what you don't like about it. Brandon Collins says, there's a lot of Dali imagery in this film, like the melted record later on. Yes, that's right. Good catch. Good catch, like the clock in the Salvador Dali painting that's melting. That's right. Good catch. I wonder if it was intentional. You know, I mean, there's a lot of, again, dreams are by their nature surreal and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's not surprising. Gotta love, I don't know. Do you believe that this is a tight-knit, close family? Like, do you really buy that this is a loving family? Who's Lisa? Who's Lisa? Boy, who's that fucking Lisa? It's Meryl Streep's daughter, dear. Actually, Meryl Streep wouldn't have been much older than Kim Myers, I don't think. A little bit older, but not. I don't know if is Meryl Streep old enough to be Kim Myers' mother. I'm not sure. Maybe. It's probably close though. Geek Dark Turtle fan says, Dave, how did Freddy get a license to drive a bus? Do they just hand them out? Well, it's a dream. He doesn't need a license, fucker! No, he doesn't need a license. He's just, a dream. Yeah, it's good shit. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Bob Birkin says the house itself is a character. Yes, it is. The Elm Street house is a character. Yep. It definitely is. Playing softball. Or it's softball? Baseball? No, it's softball. Softball. It's all right. Just give me some time, man. Just give me some time. Did you get any at least? It's my ride. It's my ride. I will say this, though. And this has sort of been, I think, the documentary Scream Queen is a good documentary. And if you guys haven't watched it, it's all about Mark Patton's experience working on this movie. I highly recommend it. It gives you some great insight. There's great interviews. He talks about obviously being in the closet at this time. He's a gay man. For those of you that don't know, he really is gay. And of course, at this time in the 80s, I mean, to be out was terrifying. I mean, it's still terrifying for a lot of people today, although we're a much more accepting society, right? Now, imagine what that was like 40 years ago. I mean, pretty crazy. And so he is, when you watch him in this movie, and I haven't seen him in other things, but he does have naturally a more softer side. There's a bit of a stereotype there, I guess, more of a nurturing side to his demeanor. But nobody knew that he was hired. Apparently nobody knew that he was. Anyway, the point I'm making is that, I find it difficult to believe, and I've always found it difficult to believe, and he found it difficult to believe. And the writer has since come out and sort of been like, okay, yeah, maybe I was, But the writer for years, basically tried to pass off the gay themes and undertones and overtones, if you want to get real, in this movie as purely coincidence. And it's like, dude, there's a whole gay bar scene with you got fucking Bob Shea in I mean, it's like, come on, man. Like, I mean, you can't tell me this isn't intentional, right? And he's since softened his position on that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with, truthfully, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because what is fascinating is that, especially at that time, Freddy Krueger knows your vulnerabilities. He knows your secrets. He knows what's in your subconscious. And although Mark Patton is playing a straight guy in this movie, there is you can look at it from a perspective of that maybe he's not straight, and maybe he's struggling with those, insecurities and how to come out, right? And that Freddy does know, though. Like, Freddy really does know, and he's that metaphor for exposing his deepest secrets and all those things. Like, you could have leaned into that, and it would have been interesting. Of course, at that time, it might have turned a lot of people off because, very kind of not as accepted back then. All I'm saying is that it actually works. Like, it wasn't just, it actually narratively, structure-wise, that's a great shot of the house, by the way. Great shot of the house, tracking along. It actually works. I don't think it would have been nearly as accepted back then. It's more accepted now, and that's probably why it's liked now more than it was back then. But when you look at it from that perspective and that cinematic language, it actually is an interesting tale. Again, there's no overt on the nose. It's not explicitly said that this is a gay teenager struggling with that reality, pretending to like girls because he feels that that's what's right. And Freddy's, it's not explicitly said, but you can draw those conclusions now having that perspective. And I think that's an interesting story. I do. And it's kind of fascinating. But yeah, don't tell me that, the gay undertones or the themes were accidentally just, I don't know how that ended up in there. Please, give me a break. Yeah, that's right. Brandon says Patton didn't understand all of the gay subtext while he was making it. He wanted to remain in the closet until his career was established. That's right. And he probably wouldn't have done the film if he knew. That's probably true too. But I think he said something, I saw him in some interview where it did like cross his mind. Like, it's not that he was completely, it's that they didn't lean so heavily into it, like as part of the narrative and his character arc, that I think he just kind of went with, the story of what it was. But I saw some interview with him where, I don't know if it was on the doc or maybe it was on a panel, where he did notice like things that were there, like the gay bar scene and, certain, because initially Robert Englund and Mark Patton, did I call him Robert? I meant Mark. Robert and Mark, that scene where he does the "You've got the body, I got the brain," Freddy, Robert, and Mark had talked about Freddy, Robert, putting the index blade of his glove into Mark's mouth as a very suggestive, phallic sort of thing, and Mark didn't want to do that. And Mark's talked about that too, and so I think there were hints of it, but he just kind of was like, no, this is just kind of And it's only in retrospect that I think it's come to his conscious mind that, yeah, it was like that. Anyways, again, the point I'm making is that I think you could lean heavily into it and it does still work. It works as is as well. Here's a great scene. This is a great scene.
I need you, Jesse. We got special work to do here, you and me. You've got the body. I've got the brain.
So great. So great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Jesse, are you all right, Jesse?
Geeked Out Turtle fan says, Dave, it's played as if Jesse is hiding his sexual desires and even possible crush on Grady. Well, yes, that it could be interpreted that way, but that wasn't, according to the writer, the intention, right? And it's kind of like, well, but it's kind of there. But you're absolutely right. You could see it that way. You could, for sure. And I don't think, again, in 1985, I don't think this would have landed. I don't. But in retrospect, when you look at it now, I think it's all right. And it's an interesting take, right? It's a different, especially at that time. Like it works. I don't think there's any way to, basically what I'm saying is that the writer for years and years and years, even into an era where it was acceptable to be gay and to come out and okay, the writer just did not, no, it's completely coincidental. It's like, well, okay, well. Even if they don't realize it consciously, a lot of this can be subconscious. Alley Girl, what's going on, Alley Girl? Hey, Dave. Hey, y'all. Happy Easter. Celebrate. About to have lunch. Hope you all have a great day. You as well. The snake. Or is it the snake? Yeah, it's a snake. That's right. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, Power Pack says, I love that Freddy is prying on Jesse's fears about his sexuality. Well, again, that's how it's retroactively interpreted, right? But you could also watch the movie and not think that, right? Because they don't lean into it explicitly. Oh, no. No. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. If you want to play with animals, Mr. Walsh, join the circus. Well, who took it out? Yeah, I did. I took it out, just put it around my neck, pretended to be asleep. Kim Myers pool party. Yes. Did the parents die? I don't think they did. CM, what's going on, CM? Good to see you here. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Bum-bum-bum-bum. They rushed part 2 too much. Robert is still great in it. I don't like how the rules change and stuff. Super girly guy screams are weird too. I think they should do the Hollywood thing and make a sequel to Nightmare 1 that has Nancy going to college and discovering Hypnocil. Well, that's definitely an angle. It's definitely an angle. Oh, here it comes. Hold me, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Love it. Naked love tonight. How do you like that, Dad? Take that, Dad. Yeah, Dad. And we put on these Corey Haim sunglasses. Brandon says Sean Clark needs to stop playing and do a Horror's Hallowed Ground episode on this. It might be too late now that the high school burned down. Yeah, he does need to do it. He does. He does need to do it. I mean, listen, everybody does this, right? I mean, I dance in my, in my room, in my jeans, hitting my dresser drawer with my ass. I mean, don't we all do this? I did it this morning. I'm going to do it after the show today. Like, I just do it. It's great.
Jesse,
there's a girl here to see you. Oh, hi, how are you? Tom Hungarian says, Dave, just bought a Toronto Blue Jays hat yesterday. I'm buy every team hat a week and take a break from NECAs. That's good. Awesome. Movie Chat and More sends in a member chat and says, hi, Dave. Happy Easter. Not Freddy related, but I was wondering if you've ever seen The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. I have not. It's a modern day classic and should have won the Oscar for it. I know the movie, and I know that it is beloved. I don't know what else was nominated that year, so I can't say whether I agree that it should have been won the Oscar. But I know the movie, and it definitely helped to put Mickey Rourke back on the map a little bit, although he's since fallen off it again. But that's Mickey Rourke for you. Eddie Chase sends in $1.99. Thank you, Eddie, and says, best Freddy ever looked. I agree. I mean, this was, part 2 was part of the model of my look in Dylan's New Nightmare. It was part 2. It was Demon Freddy, and of course, New Nightmare. So it's a bit of a, when you watch Dylan's New Nightmare and you look at how I look, it's a bit of a culmination of those three looks. And I think it's cool. His body is slim and smooth. They find Nancy's diary. And isn't it in this movie? Was it this movie or the third movie? Where I think it's this movie, where we find out that the series takes place in Springwood, Ohio, which is funny because, some people have often said that when they watch the first Elm Street, they find it funny how many palm trees we see in the first Elm Street when it's supposed to take place in Springwood, Ohio. But you have to remember that the Springwood, Ohio thing came later. So it wasn't set in Springwood, Ohio or the Midwest in the original Elm Street. It was where it probably... He didn't shy away from showing palm trees because it was probably supposed to be a Southern California town, right? It wasn't until this movie or the movie after this where they introduced the idea of Springwood, Ohio. And then retroactively, you look at, A Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and you're like, oh yeah, there's like palm trees everywhere. This doesn't make any sense. And it's like, well, that's because, it wasn't set up like that. That's right. Yeah. And I got to say, the soundtrack for A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is amazing. Love the soundtrack for part 1. Love the soundtrack for part 2. It's awesome. Great, great stuff in this movie. Yeah, look at that. The heat's so hot that his baseball helmet is melting and he's sweating profusely. Could you imagine waking up like that? Oh my God. Oh, here comes the record that Brandon was talking about. This is so great. I think it's this scene, right? Yeah, look at that. Ooh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, like it's very surreal and it makes sense. It makes sense. There's some real creepy stuff in this movie. I don't think, like, again, and it doesn't go to the extreme like a lot of the later sequels do. By the time you get to Freddy's Dead, even Halloween 5, and I do like some of the gothic, 4's got one of my favorite dream sequences when Alice gets sucked into the movie screen. And the concept of a time loop and all that, it's fantastic. But the dreams get more and more crazy and more advanced and more wild, and they lose a sense of grounded reality. And a lot of the times what I really love about the first Elm Street and this one, as well, is that the dreams feel real. They're surreal, but they feel very much like something you would dream. And I think there's something to be said for that. I think to have that kind of relationship with the dreams and the characters, there's something, you can connect to it, as an audience, you can connect to that. Whereas by the time you get to Freddy's Dead and how carnival it is, and it's just like watching a video game. Like at that point, I don't feel a connection to the character or even the dream sequences. It's just silly and dumb. Whereas these first couple installments, even this one, even though this one it tends to be a bit of the black sheep of the family, the dreams still feel quote unquote real in their surreal presentation. And I like that. I think it's cool. Brandon says, I'm wondering if Carpenter and Deborah Hill's estate could assert their intellectual property rights over their Halloween script the way Craven's estate and Victor Miller did with Elm Street and Friday the 13th. That's a good question. Very good question. I'm not sure. Ellie Cortez. What's up, Dave? Hey, everyone. Hey, Ellie. What's going on? Welcome. Ooh, here it comes. Oh, look at that. The hat and everything.
Go ahead, Jesse. Try it on for size.
So great. So good. I think he was lit a little too much there in that one shot. I don't think it was necessary to light him up like that. But in the wide shot, when Jesse runs, you see Robert for a second in the position he was in the other shot, and he looks a little too bright. But
That's filmmaking nitpicking.
Movie chat more, £2. Thanks. Richard says, it's shame the guy who owns the house is a dick. Yeah. Look, the guy that owns the Elm Street house now it's his prerogative. It's his house. It's his property. He can do whatever he wants. He can make it difficult for people to take pictures of the house, which is what he's done. He's put like potted plants. He's put up a gate. I think he has like 2 big vans parked in front of it. Like you can hardly see it now. You can see the roof, but you can hardly see it. And there's a video online of him really giving it to a couple of people that were, now to be fair, I don't know what they were doing, whether they were trying to, I don't know. But he must have known, I would assume, now maybe I'm wrong, but I would assume that one of the criteria for real estate agents selling homes in the West Hollywood area or anywhere in the LA area is if the real estate agent knows that this house is a famous house, that is likely, I would assume, something that they have to let the buyer know. And very much like how sometimes they have to let people know if there's been a murder or, whatever the case is. And because it's Hollywood and because of the traction of people that come by fairly regularly, I would assume, I'm assuming, maybe I'm wrong, that he would have known and that it would have been now, hey, just to let you know, this is a famous house. This was used in the famous horror franchise, A Nightmare on Elm Street. And people do, and there's a few, folks, in that area, there's a lot of famous things, right? And so, if you know that going in and you decide to buy the home anyway, I've always said that why not just lean into it? I don't mean you've got to appease and coddle fans and make it like this big thing, but, fans will be respectful. I mean, you're always going to have a bad egg, but most of the time, 99% of the time, fans just want to come by, take a couple of photos, maybe take a selfie and a video, and then they're on their way, and you as a fan, as long as you are not on the property, and you are not going on the property. Oh, hang on a sec. Let me pause that for a second. Not the film, but me. This is the great parakeet scene. Yes. The parakeet just spontaneously combusts. It's great. I'm not a big fan of this scene. I think they could have done something better. But basically what it is that they're trying to communicate that, that even the bird is picking up on something, it's foreshadowing. There's something brewing. Woo. Okay. I love all the feathers. And they would have had a props guy on a ladder tipping a box over of feathers. So, I think it's important that again, it's your house, your property. You can do what you want. But if you put like a little plaque or a little sign that says, yes, it's the Elm Street house, feel free to take photos. Please don't come on the property. No trespassing. Don't come up to the door. Don't come up to the door to touch the door and take a photo. Don't do that. Stay on the sidewalk. Take some photos. You're more than welcome. Yes, this is the house. Be respectful, and I will respect you if you respect me, kind of thing. And 99% of the time, nobody has any issues. I mean, the people that owned the Strode house they did more than most people did. And they leaned more heavily into it. They didn't have to do that. I mean, they encouraged you to come up onto their property, go to the rocking chair on the deck, pick up the fake pumpkin, go and sit on the stoop. I mean, they actually had people on their property. Okay. And so they didn't have to do that. And they leaned, I guess they just thought, listen, we can't beat them. So, we can't beat them. So let's join them. And they probably had, I'm sure over the years, they've had some issues, but overall people were respectful and they put the pumpkins back and they took their photos and, whatever the case is. And I just think with this, all he has to do is just say, yeah, this is the Elm Street house. I'm not whoever was here before. I'm a little, I'm more private. I'm a little bit more persnickety, but listen, stay on the sidewalk, take your photos, take your selfie. And as long as you don't come on my property, we're cool, happy Halloween kind of thing, whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Instead of, why are you blocking it? That feels spiteful to me. That feels sort of like, you knew this. What are you doing? It feels like a dick move. I don't know if he's actually a dick, but it feels like a dick move, especially when there is a very good chance that he knew damn well what he was getting into. But it's his prerogative. It's his choice. He can do it. It's his property. If he wants to put a wall of ferns all over, he can do it, but it's just come on, we're at the bar scene right now. The bar scene. The good old bar scene. I didn't miss anything, right? While I was talking, no super chats, no member chats. I didn't miss anything. Let me just double check. No. Okay. Just want to make sure. Oh, wait. No. I thought I did. I did not. I did not miss it. Yeah. Yeah, like this is a very, gay bar. It's almost like the Blue Oyster in Police Academy. Not quite, but, leaning in that direction. Maybe a bit of a cousin. And of course, Robert Shea is the bartender. And, look how his gym teacher's dressed. Like, it's pretty crazy. Geeked Out Turtle Fan says, that's what people don't think about, though. There are people probably running up on the property without asking. I'd be annoyed, too. 100%. If that is the case, absolutely. Absolutely. But in my experience, most people don't do that. And so, but then again, all it takes is, one rotten egg to spoil the dozen, right? And so it is understandable. But I think by leaning so heavily into obscuring the house, you're almost asking people to figure out other ways to see it. And so now you're going to have a drone flying over your house, right? Now you're going to have people, bringing their own step stools and standing on step stools and doing that. Like you're just, asking for people to figure out other ways to take photos, when if you just let it be what it be and maybe put a little sign that says private property, stay on sidewalk, please, whatever, 99% of the people are going to, respect that. Yes, I saw that meme too. Yes, Geeked Out Turtle Fan says the lockers in the school were used in the Karate Kid. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm not a huge, I like the Karate Kid, but I don't know it well enough to have been able to pick up on that. Somebody picked up on it though. See, now this isn't a dream as far as we know, and Freddy appears to be affecting the real world here, right? And this is this is part of the reason why people are like, I don't know, like this seems a little like what's going on here. Now you could, make an argument and say, well, perhaps he's just, his power is growing from the dream world, from the, the collective unconscious, from the other dimension, wherever it lives, and it's growing and it's seeping through, it's bleeding through. His power is bleeding through into this, dimension. And I mean, you could figure out ways to make it work. And then of course, but he needs a body. He needs a host to come to make it come to full, fruition in a lot of ways. But it is what it is. Yeah, Bob Shea didn't ask for his ID. He didn't. Who's watching along with me? I know Brandon is. Anybody watching along with me? And this isn't Robert Englund that comes through the steam here. It's a cool scene. It's a cool scene. It's a cool scene. Bum, 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 bum. He's naked. Woo! Slapping that ass. Let's slap that ass. Woo! Yeah, like, this could be perceived as very homoerotic, right? Michael Poor says, excited to meet Kim Myers and Mark Patton as they join Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors cast members this October at Scarefest. I hope they get Robert Russler, yes, to join Kim and Mark. I hope so too. Yeah. It's funny. I when I was at Mad Monster in Arizona a couple years ago, I was walking with Mark and Kim. Was I dressed as Freddy? No, I wasn't. Myself, Cecil Laird, Miko, Kim, and Mark were all walking down the hall we were going to a different spot, but we were walking to, we were going to meet Robert, and Kim and Mark were going, I don't know where they were going now. Maybe to get lunch or something. I'm not sure, but very nice people. Does this belong to you? Does this belong to you? He was naked. Now, do you think that was a dream? Well, it wasn't, because we find out that the gym teacher, what's his face there, was murdered in the shower. We find that actually happened in reality, and you know, Jesse may be the number one suspect from a certain point of view if you think about it. Chester Franklin Jr. says, in my opinion, the ending of Elm Street 2 was better than the ending of the first one. You mean like the end stinger? You mean like the moment when the hand comes through the chest? You know what's funny? I get people's issues. I get I get Wes Craven's issue. Robert Shea was the one that wanted to leave it open for a sequel. And you didn't have to, like, you could have ended it with, because it does bring the message full circle by ending by, I do agree that by leaving it on the cliffhanger you did, you immediately undermine the rule that the weight of the rule that you just established, which is facing your fears gets rid of them. I mean, that's how you defeat him, is you face your fears. I'm not afraid of you anymore. And there's truth to that in dreams and in psychology. I'm sure we've all had dreams where we've been able to, I mean, that's what Dream Warriors was essentially about in a lot of ways, right? Was the lucid dreaming and being able to recognize when you're dreaming, taking control of that dream and not being afraid. Because you are the one that is manifesting the dream, if in your dream you do take control and you do actually face your fear in your dream, you will win because you're creating it. You're the director, the writer, the producer, and the actor of the dream. You're going to, your mind and your subconscious is going to do that for you. And so with Nancy facing Freddy at the end and defeating him, I take back everything, every inch of power I ever gave you. I mean, that's a great thing, right? Now, you still could have made a sequel without ending it on the cliffhanger that Robert Shea wanted. You still could have done it. Yeah, for sure you could have. I get why they did, but it does kind of undermine that message you just established. But at the same time, the mom being pulled through the door never really bothered me. I mean, yes, now, I mean, in the 80s, when I was watching the original Elm Street at 5, 6, 7 years old, I mean, it didn't look fake to me. It didn't look like a blow-up doll to me because that's what movies looked like back then, right? You know, and so now, of course, you can see that it's a doll, but it's so fast. Like, it's a hill I will die on. Yes, if you look at it and you analyze it, maybe you slow it down, sure. But it's so fast and it's a dream and there's a surreal quality to it anyway. So I'm just kind of like, it's never bothered me. Her being pulled through has never bothered me. Never bothered me. There's more. Do you want to know what bothers me more than that? And this doesn't bother me really either, but you want to know what bothers me more than that is when Nancy is walking up the stairs and you can actually see where the hole was created to fill it with whatever they filled it with, oatmeal or whatever it was. You can actually see the hole where it was created. And then she puts her foot in it. That bothers me more than her mom being pulled through the window. Because from a set decorating, set design standpoint, I would have been like, can we make this look like smoother so there isn't like are we able to? Now I understand they obviously but that bothers me. That bothers me more than the mom being pulled through. This is great, by the way. I don't want to miss this. When he opens the door and sees his sister just jumping rope there. 1, 2, Freddy's. And the way it's lit and how he's underlit, and he's looking at her with a very serious face. Oh, that's a great moment in Elm Street 2. It's eerie. It's creepy. I love it. It's really great. Josh McKenna sends a $9.99. Thank you, Josh, and says, the owners of the Black Christmas house seem private as well, cutting you and Bruce off like that during the Billy search. Yeah. Well, they're also on in a very affluent area of Toronto. It's on a private street. You're allowed to be on it, but I just mean it's a private road, right? Like it's not, this major main road. But yeah, a lot of people, and that's their prerogative. That's totally their prerogative. But you can stand and take photos of the house if you want to. Right? You know what I mean? You can take, they haven't put like, a gigantic wall up or something. Movie chat more. Thank you. Says, ordering a beer, Dave. Chocolate milk for you? Sure. Yeah, I'll take a large chocolate milk, Richard. Thank you. Yeah, I love that shot. 1, 2, Freddy's go. So good. And it's so great. I mean, all you had to do with the ending of the first movie was just recite actually, all you had to do was have the mother go, bye, have a great day at school. Maybe she goes inside, she shuts the door, and the kids in the car, are all back, which is kind of weird. They probably should still be dead. But anyway, you could have just, and don't have the top come up with the Freddy sweater, and don't have that. Just have it drive off. It's normal. Everything's normal. But there's that foggy hue that's kind of weird. And then you just pan over and you just see the kids like you do. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. It's like 3. This is an eerie way to end the movie. And that in and of itself, just seeing the children would let the audience know this might not be over. But it's subtle enough that you don't ever have to make another one if you don't want to. You know what I mean? It's great. It's great. But no, they didn't do that. I never pictured the boiler room. I never pictured the boiler room being this massive, but it's a great location. It's a great location. It's a great location. Daz says, I agree. Never understood the overhyped negativity to the mom being pulled through the door. It's 2 seconds. It requires you to hyper-focus to really notice. Exactly. I mean, it's true. It is a doll, but it's also a dream. If it wasn't a dream, now, you don't even notice. But what you do notice, it works because it's a dream. And so it's kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's never bothered me. No, the clear marker where Nancy's going to put her foot into the oatmeal on the stairs, if it's oatmeal, that's bothered me way more. Every time I watch the movie, I'm like, I wish we could have done something to, just make it look a little less noticeable. Like maybe kind of don't have it so circular. Like maybe there's, it blends in. I'm really nitpicking now. Really nitpicking. Drew, what's going on, Drew Muse? What's going on? Happy Easter to you as well. Happy Easter, everybody. It's great. We're watching A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Nothing says Easter like Freddy Krueger and A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Elm Street 2, of course, also celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. This is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I know that's not popular to say, but it is. And I also like it's not my favorite Elm Street. My favorite Elm Street is the original. Elm Street 2 is my favorite version of Freddy. And I love part 1 as well, but 2 just, I tend to like the Elm Street movies in order of their release. So I like 1 is my favorite. 2 would come next. Maybe 3. And then 4. Or maybe 1, 2, New Nightmare, 3, 4, something like that. My least favorite, of course, being Freddy's Dead. That pile of unfortunate crap. Brandon says, Dave, have you seen the photos from the original boiler room from the first film that people have taken? They had to trespass into the location, and it's in total darkness, super eerie. I don't know if I have. I do know, though, I think the original boiler room, wasn't it loaded with asbestos or something like that? Something like that. Love this POV shot. This would have been on a Glidacam or a Steadicam. Love it. This is eerie. Love this. This house. This interior is a total set, and it's great. Yeah, walking up to, ooh. This girl, it's only because of her blonde hair. She doesn't quite look like her, but she's always reminds me of Carol Ann from Poltergeist, like a few years older. Like maybe how Carol Ann is in Poltergeist 3. Oh, poor Carol Ann. Poor Heather O'Rourke. The reason why Heather O'Rourke, right? That's her name. She has a puffy face in Poltergeist 3 is because of I think it's the medication that she was on, and it was incorrectly prescribed and everything, or she was incorrectly diagnosed. Whatever. It's so sad. Her story is so sad. She should not have died. It's very, very sad. Anyway, this little girl in Elm Street 2 often reminds me of a little Heather O'Rourke. Maybe what Heather would have looked like in Poltergeist 3, being a little older without the puffy cheeks. It's so sad. So sad. She was such a cute little girl. So sad. His father is like just stressed all the time. Mike Mick says, ran into Nightmare fan I haven't seen in years. He had on a Freddy shirt. I mentioned Dylan's new Nightmare, and he was like, yeah, damn, that's awesome. The dude doing Freddy kicked ass as Freddy. Awesome. Well, if you see that guy again, tell him thank you. What's wrong with Jess? He seems kind of freaked out. I want to know who these guys are in the background. Like, who's that guy there in the red shirt? Who's that guy in the baseball hat and white? What's his story? Is he still acting? Kind of looks like Screech from Saved by the Bell. Is he still acting? Is he still around? I don't know. I have no idea. If you're just joining us, happy Easter, everybody. We're watching A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 because nothing says Easter like Freddy. He does look really tired. They did a really great job in the makeup chair with how tired he looks. Alex says she died so young. She did, and it was completely avoidable. When you read up on her story and how, I mean, it was complete. It didn't have to happen. It didn't have to happen. But the reason why she looks really puffy in Poltergeist 3 is, because it was like the medication or something. She was on like the incorrect dosage or something, or it was, and it helped to contribute to her death, as far as I know. Like there was something around that. It was just crazy. It's so sad. She was such a cute little girl and a good little actress too. Well, Heather, if you're watching, you're iconic in your own right. People still remember you. Geeked Out Turtle Fan says it was an incorrect diagnosis. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with her until it was too late. Some kind of intestinal blockage. That's right. But yes, there was the incorrect diagnosis, but I also thought that she was on like too much of the medication or something, and that's why she was so puffy. I thought there was something around that too. Maybe I'm wrong, but there was something around that as well, I thought. But yeah, it didn't have to happen, right? It's very sad. It's very sad. Mike says the guy in the hat, in the shirt and the hat, is actually son of the caterer for the crew. He was just on site and put him in the movie to fill the spot. Are you being serious? Really? How did you know that? I mean, it was so random. I just picked some guy in the back. Or did you look it up? No, man, I just know this movie, man. I just know this movie back to front. Movie Chat and More, Part 2. Freddy and Jason has never scared me. Only Myers. Listen, I'm going to leave. I'm not into this. I'm into dudes. Can you imagine? That would have been funny. She does look like Meryl Streep. She could have played her sister, younger sister. It's funny. Well, the pool scene, my favorite scene in the movie, is coming up very soon. The iconic, epic pool scene. Don't say that. That's it. She's into him. She's into him. We'll stay up all night. We'll stay up all night. There we go. Here they go. Excuse me. He's so into her. It's kind of okay. There you go. I was going to say it's getting a little awkward here, but there they go. Now they're into it. Now they're into it. Look at these parents, rich. Alex C says, I really dug the mental strength of the final girl in this movie. I wish she'd showed up in one of the later films. Yeah, that's one of the things that the Elm Street films, of course, Friday the 13th was notorious for it, not being consistent with final girls. Every movie, there's somebody different and a different, like, I understand having a different, like, but it was I mean, it would have been nice if the Friday films had I mean, obviously you had Tommy in part 4 and 5 and 6, played by, 3 different people. But that was your through line. That was probably the most consistent they were. Halloween had it. Elm Street, they did 1, then they did 2, which had complete appeal, and then 3, Heather came back, and then 4, of course, you have Alice. Yeah, it's just a bit disjointed. I think it's not like Scream, obviously, where Sydney is constant through 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. She's at the end of 5. I think what it comes down to is it's a line. I love this when the tongue comes out. Practical effects, man. Looks great. I think it'll be more when you have a consistent character. I think it helps to ground the films. I think it allows for the audience to connect to somebody. They become that person who they are following. So there's that connection. The problem that you run into as well is, how can we make it believable that this person is still actively pursuing this person, or our final girl or guy is still actively trying to kill this other person? Because eventually, it becomes unbelievable that they would still be facing each other, right? So you do run into that issue as well, which is why a lot of these things have shelf lives. Movie Chat More says, although I will say Friday is the most consistent. Well, it's the most consistent in the sense that it depends what we're measuring, right? I mean, it's the most consistent in the sense that it never rebooted itself apart from the 2009 movie. That everything from part 1 to Jason X, even Freddy's Dead, is in the same continuity, but that doesn't mean that the films were consistent. There's a lot of schlocky garbage. I love this.
Yeah, and she's female and she's waiting for you in the cabana, and you want to sleep with me.
I love it. Something is trying to get inside my body. Yeah, and she's female and she's waiting in the cabana, and you want to sleep with me. I love it. But I love this exchange. I do love this exchange. And yeah, in retrospect, you can look at it through the lens of, through a homosexual lens, for sure. But it can stand on its own. I think if Mark Patton had been maybe, again, he's naturally softer. There's a feminine sort of quality to him as a person. And I think had he been a little more masculine, I think this wouldn't quite read the way some people are interpreting it, right? Even retroactively, it would be easier to not. But now that we know not only is Mark actually gay and that this movie is full of, these gay themes, we look at the way that he screams or the way that he, it doesn't quite feel as masculine as you would, expect, right? And that's part of why it's easy to lean into it. Thinking these things, that maybe he's got a crush on Grady. If this was, Jack Black sitting here, or me, or somebody that you wouldn't make that, even if I actually was a gay man in real life, you wouldn't make that connection to the character. If it was me going, no, I'm telling you, this is not just fucking dreams, Grady. Like if I was, you know what I mean? You wouldn't, because there isn't that. Do you know what I mean? And so definitely that does, help to perpetuate it retroactively, right? Whether people thought that in 85, I'm not sure. Although I do remember for us kids, it was just known as the gay one, the gay one, because there was so much of the, of those undertones. But I love this movie. I think it's great. I'm glad Mark Patton has gotten his due. His documentary is really great. He's a very nice man. I think it's an interesting story. I think maybe, the documentary leans very heavily into sort of the, a lot of things, but hopefully Mark has resolved those unresolved issues regarding the film and his connection to it. But, here we go. Brandon says, this is the most 80s bedroom ever. It's true. This is great. What a great moment. One of the best reveals of Freddy of all time. So great. I love this. There are some people that say, well, maybe at the pool party, it's not really Freddy. I mean, we're seeing him as Freddy, but maybe the kids at the pool party are seeing Jesse. You know, it's interesting. That's an interesting take. I don't lean into that theory. I think it is Freddy. But it's an interesting take. This is wild. Just the shedding of everything. It's a great scene. Could you imagine seeing this? I mean, what would you do? You know, he's not banging it hard enough. I love that shot there. And I think that's a woman's eye, if I'm not mistaken. The eye we see in the mouth, I think it's a woman's eye, but I forget whose it is. Oh, my cushion is moving around on me. Look at that. That's great. Oh, I love that. You just, help me. And you just see the fucking face coming out of his body. It's so good. This is 80s greatness right here, folks. 80s greatness. Look at this. Yes! 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 Oh, yes! Low angle shot. Giving him power. He just stands up. That's all you got to do. Yes! He's going to put on the hat. Here it comes. Oh, okay. We're catching. Run! Look at that smile, baby! Come on! Come on! Yes! Yes! Open that door, you son of a... Look, I just put on the hat. Yes! Yeah! There you go. That's it. That's it. That's how you do it. That's right. That's right. Oh, look at the way he looks. We're giving him power. Yes. Ooh. Like, come on, man. This. Imagine if Freddy Krueger was like this in every installment. And every installment was as intense as this moment. Imagine that. This is legit shit for an Elm Street movie. So great. It's so great. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, man. And I love the way he looks in the mirror, and he's just... It's so good. Look at him. Look at the way Robert Englund looks here. The hat, he's doing this, the face. Look, this is a great performance. I really believe Mark Patton there. You son of a bitch, you killed him. I believe that. Throwing the glove, smashing the window. This is a really good scene in any Elm Street movie. This is a good, horrific scene. This is arguably the best scene in the movie. It's a great, great moment. It's a great moment. And imagine if this Freddy Krueger was what we got in 3 and 4 and 5. And now the tone would change, right? Obviously, but I'm okay for that. I'm fine with every Elm Street movie being serious and playing it like Shakespeare. You know what I mean? When I say that, I just mean like playing it straight, not being goofy. It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. Movie Chat More says, the makers of 6 deserve Freddy in their nightmares. I agree. It's a good performance. It's a good performance. Yeah, she's not. Imagine the blood. Like, what would you do in this scene? Like, what the fuck is this blood? What are you doing? What's going on? Yes, I agree. Brandon says, Russell did a great death scene there. Yeah, 100%. It's a great scene. From the moment he wakes up and he's like, Grady, it's happening again. And he's like, from that moment, right to the end, when Jesse hears the cops and he leaves through the window, right, like that whole sequence is terrifying. It's a chilling scene. The effects are great. Freddy coming out of the body and everything. The way they shoot Robert as the only thing I wouldn't have done is that when Robert crosses the room, right? So in terms of the blocking, when he crosses the room to get to Grady, it's a shot behind Robert and we lose a bit of that power. And so I don't know, like this is a set, obviously. So I don't know how much camera room they had, but we lose a bit of that power because when we're on Robert, we're low angle and we're kind of looking up at him and we're giving Freddy that power, right? That's what that does for our villain. And then the next shot is the other side of him, but we're kind of up and above. And I don't know if that's, like, I'm not sure how the blocking was working there. I would have had the camera lower still again and watch Robert walk into frame, camera right, walk into frame, grab the same thing happen. I just would have lowered the angle. Instead of being up here where we lose a bit of that intensity and that presence with Robert's back when he crosses, again, not the scene where it's the close-up of his hand on the throat and, not that. I'm talking about when he crosses the space to grab him. We cut from low angle on Freddy, and then we're just a bit above, and he crosses the room. I wouldn't, because I think to go from this to that, there's a loss of impact for me. So I would have continued to have the camera lower, watch him walk across, grab him by the throat, so we don't lose that power. Now, at the same time, you could argue and say, well, but aren't you giving Grady that same power? No, because Robert is clearly the one that is dominating the scene. Freddy is the one that's dominating the scene, and the language that you're communicating by doing that is this is all about his power and him crossing that space. So that would be my only critique of that scene. That'd be my only critique of that scene. Other than that, I think it is fantastic, and it's visceral and scary and haunting and chilling and just awesome. Alex C. sends in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Alec. Really appreciate that. Says, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was great at giving the final girl Nancy traits without making her Nancy. This is the last entry I recall Freddy being defeated mentally. That's a good point. Is it the last one? I can't remember. But yeah, I thought Kim Myers was a good final girl. I mean, it's sort of a thing, She's not really taking center stage except for this moment here. This is great, too. Oh, this is great. This is great.
He can't fight me. I'm here.
Yes. Wait, don't we have He Can't Fight Me, I'm Him? Wait a minute, that's weird. We missed hey, that's weird. What happened to There is no Jesse, I'm Jesse now? That wasn't in this version. What version of Elm Street 2 am I watching? Unless it's coming later. Is it coming later? That's so weird.
There is no Jesse. I'm Jesse now.
Where did that go? It wasn't here. Everything else is playing out. Look how he looks. I love this look. God, the hat, how it's wide. I don't like the fedora in Elm Street 2. It's too small. I like the big brim when it hangs over his face. It's great. Absolutely great. Oh, no, wait. Here it is. Here's a line. I think it's coming. I think I just missed it. Yeah. Here it is. Sorry.
Jesse, help.
There it is.
There is no Jesse. I'm Jesse now.
Yes!
Get away from me!
Kill me, Lisa.
Fuck. I mean, come on. Imagine that tone. Imagine that Freddy in all the other Elm Street movies.
There is no Jesse. I'm Jesse now.
Ha ha. Not even that, because that laugh came a bit later in the sequels, but more of more of that. And then if he's just laughing, that kind of stuff. I mean, Jesus, man. You were on to something with Freddy in this movie. I'm telling you.
There is no Jesse.
Like how guttural he is. Oh, it's fucking great. It's great. And then we get Power Glove, great graphics. Ah, no! This is great. Look at this scene. This scene is great too because he looks so great. Look at him. Look at his face. Look at that. I mean, come on, man. Jesus Christ. This is the Freddy that they need to bring back. This is the Freddy that I want to see. I mean, obviously, he's probably going to look a bit different, but I just mean this style, this tone. This is what they need to bring back, ladies and gentlemen. They need to bring it back. Oh, the pool scene. It's coming. God, this whole sequence. I mean, Jesus, that sequence was great. The pool scene sequence is great. Grady's death scene is great. There are some great moments in this movie, ladies and gentlemen. You're insane for thinking that this is dog shit. Get out of here. I know there's more to a movie than just a couple of great scenes. I'm just saying. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. It's the way to do it, baby. Oh, here it comes. One of our favorite lines is coming up. Look, just the way he looks, he's doing this. And that hook witch nose and the way he looks, that makeup allows for him, when he goes like this, it really accentuates the sunken in eyes and the cheekbones and the nose. It really gives that gargoyle-y, witchy look. And it's just, that kind of look. It's so great. It's so great. It's terrifying. Fucking terrifying. Wake up, Lisa. Wake up. That's right. Chester, Geeked Out Turtle fan. Here comes favorite line. You're all my children. You are all my children now. It's coming up. This is so great. Hey, man. Just calm down, man. We're here to help you, man. Here it comes.
Just calm down, right? Relax.
Look at him. Look at that. The steam off the pool. The face.
Nobody's gonna hurt you.
Fuck, man. Here it comes.
What you want, all right?
Here it comes.
Yeah, I'm here to help you.
Help yourself, fucker.
So great. Here.
You are all my children now.
So great. Yes! 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 Look at that face! Look at that face! Look at that face! That's what I'm talking about! That's what I'm talking about! That face! The flames in the foreground! That face! The wetness on the face! That's Freddy Krueger! That's Freddy Krueger, ladies and gentlemen. The way he also turns his head all the way and walks off into the bushes. I mean, Jesus, folks. Jesus. That's what needs to be brought back. That is Freddy Krueger. That is terrifying. That is a nightmare, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. Incredible. Rob28 says, I have also loved part 2, standing in front of the fire and saying, "You're all my children now." It's one of the most iconic scenes in the whole franchise. It is. It is. It is. It's so great. It's so great. Don't listen to but the way it is in the trailer, of course, because they haven't done any processing. Sounds a little funny. It's kind of like the line, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy." When you watch the original Elm Street trailer, they haven't pitched Robert Lower yet. So in the trailer, it's, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy." Kind of sounds a little not as impactful. Whereas, of course, you get to the movie and, "I'm your boyfriend now." It's great. It's great, great, great. These demon dogs. Anybody like the demon dogs, or do you find them weird? I don't know. Do you like the demon dogs? I have no idea. Demon dogs. Demon dogs? You guys into demon dogs? Who says that? You guys into demon dogs? Anybody like demon dogs? That is a cool looking boiler room, I will say, from a purely visual set standpoint. You could have done a lot in this scene too. Maybe if you had started the climax earlier, I don't know. Brandon says, do you know how hard it is to sync up the audio on 2 TVs, my phone, and the film's audio coming from Dave's monitor? I think I'm officially a sound guy now. Awesome. Love it. Love it. That's right. Yeah, the wide shot. That's right. Yeah, it's great. It's creepy stuff. Creepy stuff. Scared Straight Productions. Honestly, Nightmare would have been a great trilogy. Yep. I still wish, though, that what we saw here, because Freddy in A Nightmare on Elm Street 1 is not quite as dark as this. He's dark, though. He's dark. But they're comparable. Freddy in Part 3, although that seems to be the fan favorite, I don't dislike the movie, and I don't dislike Robert in it, but you can really see that hybrid beginning. And if they had just kept it more serious, if they had kept this Freddy in Elm Street 3, ooh, wow. I mean, that just would have ratcheted it up, but it's yeah, it's just tone. It's just a tone thing. They took Freddy, after Part 2, they especially after Part 3 with, Part 4, they could have gone this way with Freddy, but they decided to go that way with Freddy. And, hey, it is what it is. He's still an icon, one of the GOATs, one of the greatest of all time. But yeah, I do wish they would have stayed true to him in this movie. If this had been the template for every Freddy to come after, fuck. And I mean everything, from the look to the sweater to the glove to the hat to the voice, everything. Be consistent, Terrifying. Michael Porter says, Kevin Yeager hit the makeup effects out of the park with this Freddy and final chapter Jason. Yep. And Yeager, I think, did do the makeup in 3, if I'm not mistaken, or 4. Or 2, 3, and 4 or something. He just didn't do the same look. I just would have preferred if he had kept the same look. But, Jesse's, it's so great. It's great. And this looks great in HD. This looks really great. I love you, Jesse. And he's got contacts in this movie as well. He's got red, which I think is really cool. And his hat is so great. Everything. It's the best Freddy's looked ever. And he's great in Part 1 as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, 2 things can be true at the same time. I'm just saying that this just has that edge, just that extra edge. It's like having 2 cakes that are equally great, but one's got a cherry on top. You know what I mean? Look at that voice, the laugh. Oh, yeah. So good. So good, folks. Okay, have I missed... sorry, I was yapping a lot there. Have I missed any super chats, member chats? No, I haven't. It doesn't look like it anyway. I just want to make sure. Oops, there we are. Come on. I love that her love for him is the what's, I mean, it works. It works. Ooh. I think she kisses him, right? Or something like that. He'll die with both of us. Oh, yeah. Make it out with Freddy. Yeah. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. Alex C. says, unless he's retired, Kevin Yeager has not worked since 2021. Damien Leone needs to get him on the phone. Damien Leone needs to get Kevin Yeager on the phone for what? I think they're doing perfectly fine without Kevin Yeager. And he may not have worked. He may be retired now. He may be like, I've done it. I've done my thing. I've contributed to my love. I'm good. The melting of the face here, the practical effects is great. And then I also like, I got to say, I like the way that it kind of reminds me of Ghostbusters when Sigourney Weaver and Rick Moranis come out of the dogs, right? You know, after they've kind of charred and cooled off. And the same thing kind of happens here with Jesse, that he comes out of the, you know, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It works. I think so many people, and this is just my opinion, of course, maybe I'll do a deep dive on this for a video or something or make a post about it. But I think this movie, I understand why people don't like it, but I also think part 3 gets, I think people like part 3 because of the Goonies aspect to it. You know, the communal aspect, the kids and they're all fighting dreams. And like, it's more of a, it's less scary and more adventure horror. You know what I mean? Not that there isn't, you know, but I like the true darkness. I want to go dark. Like, I don't want any fucking, you know, shit like that. But that's me. That's just me. That's just me. There he is. He survived. He's alive. He's okay. He's perfectly fine. Or is he? There's the ending. Chester Franklin Jr. likes it better than the other one. Jasmine Martinez, what's going on? Says, of the big 3, I've only really enjoyed Michael and Freddy. Friday the 13th was and is highly overrated in my opinion, which I know is blasphemous to many, but it fails to intrigue me. No, hey, I get it. You know, different strokes for different folks, right? I mean, you know, there are people that are crazy for Terrifier, but it's just not my cup of tea. I can respect it and understand that I think what it's done for horror, especially independent horror as of late, I think is fantastic. But from a film story genre perspective, yeah, I couldn't care less if they ever made another Terrifier or not. And I don't mean I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean it's just not my jam. Some people like Freddy, some people don't. Some people like Chucky, some people don't. Some people like Michael, some people don't. I mean, some people think Michael Myers is highly overrated. They think the original Halloween is a boring schlog and very overrated. And, you know, I understand. Like, I can see it from their perspective, you know? So, yeah, it's all right. I love that. Yeah. Woo! Woo, I made it! I miss riding the school bus. Those were the days. Now, there's a very split jump cut before the arm comes out of her chest, because obviously they had to, you know, film this and then stop and then get the contraption on her or get it to work. It might be on her now, I'm not sure, but they needed to obviously get the effect to work. And so there's a very tiny jump cut, but it works because, again, it's a dream, it's surreal, you know, whatever. It's going too fast.
Lisa, it's starting to speed up.
It's fine. Relax.
Driver, stop!
You imagine? Stop! And then the driver turns his head and looks back, so we see that it's not the same driver, although he looks similar to the driver. That was, obviously, it's not Robert Englund. That's what I mean. Here it comes.
Jesse, it's okay.
Here's a little bit of a
It's
jump cut.
all over.
Oh! Love it, love it, love it. Woo! Yes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Did you ever see a dream talking? Or hear a dream talking, excuse me. Yeah, you can't exactly see dreams talking. Amazing. Super chat comes in from Movie Chat and More, £5. Thanks. Richard says, hey, Dave, could you please give a shout out to my nephew, Kel? He's never seen Psycho 2 and hopefully will be watching it Friday night. Hey, Kel, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. And watch Psycho 2 because it's a great movie. It's a great movie. One of the best sequels ever made. If you're a big fan of Psycho, I think you'll appreciate Psycho 2. Josh McKenna, $1.99. Thank you, Josh. Says, but Dave, no screaming while the bus is in motion. Oh, God, Josh. Oh, my God. Catastrophic failure of epic proportions. That's just, that is the timestamp is still going here. I gotta stop that. We are done. That was good though. That was fun. It was good to watch. It looked good. I was just watching it in HD, but it looks fantastic. Yeah, again, I mean, it's one of my favorite. Well, I mean, it is. It's my favorite. Like, I like Halloween 1 and 2. I like Elm Street 1 and 2. Like, that's how much I like this movie. And I fully admit a big reason for that is because of the portrayal of Freddy Krueger and the way he looks and the makeup and everything and how they executed him, for sure. And the fucking scenes. I was going to say the beach scene, the barbecue scene, Grady's death, chasing Lisa around the house. I mean, it's all just excellent stuff. And I think rivals shit that was in the first movie. I do. I mean, Nancy's fight with Freddy is iconic, and I'm not saying it, but I'm saying that this is like, it looks like it's good shit. The only thing that would have maybe made it even creepier is maybe, made the interior of the house a bit darker. So we don't see, so like right now it's lit by a lot of warm tungsten lights, like a lot of lamps and things like that when they're in the house, as it would be. Right. But maybe have a lamp, maybe you smash a lamp. So you give a reason for the lights to go out and now it's just the moonlight, or maybe it's one light off in the corner. So that gives you an opportunity to, when he's like, there is no Jesse, I'm Jesse now. You give that kind of that moment, he's not quite as lit in a warm sort of kind of environment. It's a bit cooler, and a bit darker. You could have played with things like that, but it still looks amazing. It still looks eerie, even with the warm tungsten vibe. It still looks really, really eerie, and I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. Brandon Collins says, Dave wants my Freddy's Dead poster, but he's just playing it cool. Oh, yeah. I mean, don't tell anybody, but I am actually a huge Freddy's Dead fan. I mean, I think it's one of the greatest movies of all time. Like, it is actually the greatest installment in the Elm Street franchise. I mean, part 1 and 2 really, and 3 and New Nightmare really don't hold the candle to Freddy's Dead. It's fantastic. It's amazing. I think it's actually one of Chris Stanley's favorites, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. And I get it. I think it was one of the first he ever saw. Listen, sometimes when we do have a nostalgic connection to something, we can be a little lenient. We can let some obvious things slide, because it means a lot to us. I mean, I think of that when I look at Halloween H2O. When Halloween H2O came out, I was already 19 years old. I was already, I'd graduated high school. I was, and so I was already very much, involved with but for some people, it was the first Halloween movie they ever saw. For some people, it was not just the first Halloween movie they ever saw, but the first one they ever saw in the movie theater. And so, because it came out during the Scream craze, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it was very much that pop culture late 90s slasher type movie, there is a big emotional connection for a lot of people who are a bit younger than me, who grew up in maybe they were born 10 years after me. So I was born in 79. So maybe if you were born in like 89 or 90, I could see it's your introduction to that. Like, it's your introduction in the same ways that, the original Friday and Elm Street were my introductions, right? Because I was a little boy in the early 80s where you might have been, a little boy in the mid 90s. And so, but that's enough time, for things to, and I'm not sitting here saying that Halloween H2O is a bad movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's not a bad movie, but I do think it's a little overrated. And I think that it hasn't aged well. I think it's very much a product of its time in the sense of that, from its cultural sort of, the way that slasher movies sort of felt, and the way that narratives were executed, and the way things kind of, I don't think it has staying power. I'm not specifically talking about the story. I'm more talking about the filmmaking at large and how it's sort of in cohesion with the same tropes and feelings of other slasher movies of its ilk. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think Halloween H2O has aged well. I think Scream has aged better. I don't think Halloween H2O has aged very well. I think I Know What You Did Last Summer is okay. Urban Legend is one of the stronger ones of the bunch. I think that's aged very well. Whereas H2O, again, again, it's also, you have the warmer setting and it doesn't feel like Halloween. It doesn't, but a lot of people get angry when I say that because they have this big emotional attachment and they're just like, well, yeah, I see that, but I don't really care. Like, and I understand that. I get it. But I do think H2O does have problems that were very much okay for its time, but doesn't have the long-lasting staying power to still have that timeless feel, that feeling of being timeless. People love it. People do. But like I said, I was nearly 20 years old when it came out. So I was very analytical and very critical of the movie when it came out. I was like, yeah, it's fun to see it's always fun to see Michael on the screen, even the bad movies. But this doesn't feel like Halloween. Like I went to see it with my brother, and who was the one who introduced me to Halloween. He's 9 years older than me. So I was 19, he was 28, and we went to see it, and we're there and we're watching it, and we're like, it's fun, but it feels more like Scream than Halloween. It doesn't really feel like Halloween, and it's like, because there are specific things that made Halloween that are missing from Halloween H2O. It's too, like, when I say it's like Michael Myers walked onto the set of Dawson's Creek, I don't mean like literally, obviously. I'm talking about, the fact that the structure and the story and the writers, and you got Kevin Williamson, you've got actors from that film, the more of that warmer sort of vibe. It feels more soap opera-y. It feels more brighter and less atmospheric, and very much leans into into that sort of thing because of Scream. I should do a video on this. I need more time to sort of compartmentalize my thoughts or make a post, but because I'll be able to do it better when I've had time to think about it. But that's what it was for me, was very much, that's what I mean by walked on the set of Dawson's Creek, is that tonally, the feel, the vibe, it's very much in line with other sort of shows and looks of that time period. It doesn't quite lean into what made Halloween, which was the character of the film is also its mood and its atmosphere. And, when you lean heavily, let me try this again. The original Halloween, even part 2, even 4, even 5 to a degree, you've set up atmosphere as part of its identity. And that identity is largely removed. And that's why I say that it's more like, again, I could say it's like Michael Myers walked onto the set of Scream if I really wanted to. I say Dawson's Creek because of, Michelle Williams, but really you could say Scream. And I think, and it even used the Scream music, right? And so it looks more Scream. It's brighter, it's friendlier, it's not quite as visceral. And I think that's a problem. That's not just me talking out of my ass and, 45-year-old fanboy expectations. That's really looking at the structure and the identity of the film and makes Halloween Halloween. And this just setting it in California and it just doesn't work for me. But I understand, and I think there's an objective argument to be made as well. But people love Laurie Strode. They love the arc, and they love it because in a lot of cases it was the first Halloween movie they ever saw. Movie Chat More says, Resi took a crap over everything H2O did, in my opinion. Resi? Resi took a crap over... who's Resi? Resi? Resi. You have to help me out there. I'm not entirely sure who Resi is. Resi? Like, it's the different, we can, okay, so here's a good example, right? Not everybody liked the David Gordon Green trilogy, right? Especially Halloween Ends. But if there's one thing we cannot deny, well, there's a few things we can't deny. Killer soundtrack, Carpenter and his godson and his son knocked it out of the park, right? We all agree. Killer mask, yeah, it's great. They finally got that right. James Hugh Courtney knocked it out of the park. He was great. Even in Ends with, he's good. But one of the most important things they did get right, although I still think they could have leaned a little more into it in 18, but is the atmosphere, is the setting, right? And when you watch 18 and kills and ends, you understand the difference. Now think of H2O. Right? There's a big difference. And it's not like they couldn't have made that movie in 1998. Yes, they could have made that movie in 1998. Of course they could have, right? It's a stylistic choice they chose not to because they set the movie in California. So there's a lot of browns, a lot of greens, a lot of warm, right? And I know that the original Halloween was in Pasadena and there's a lot of greens there as well. But I'm talking about more of the timeless factor and leaning into the darker edge, especially when we get to nighttime. And I just don't feel that with H2O. It's too soap opera-y. It's too riding the coattails of Scream. The characters behave like the people in Scream. The Scream music is in it. It's too bouncy fun. It's too horror fun. Even though it was rated R, it's too PG-13 fun. From that perspective, it's got that whimsy. And it's got the corny, with LL Cool J, and it's got that, it's fun, it's hip and cool, right? Even on the poster, I think it said it's hip and it's cool. And it's like, I don't want Halloween to be hip and cool. And that's what I mean. I know I'm, going on a round sort of thing here, but I'm thinking about this in real time. So, because we're live, so I haven't had a chance to write my thoughts down and orchestrate it a bit more smoothly. But, and I have talked about this prior, but that's what I mean. It leans into the common execution of what horror was in those 4 years. Hip, cool, sexy. And it's like, I don't want my Halloween to be hip, cool, and sexy. I don't give a frog's fat ass if it's hip, cool, or sexy. You know what I mean? I don't want it sexy. I don't need it hip. I don't need it cool. Yeah, man, bruh. Hey, this is hip and cool and sexy. Look at these sexy teens. Like, I don't give a fuck. And that's part of the problem. And that's very much what Scream was. And yes, that makes sense for Scream. That makes sense for Scream, but it doesn't make sense for Halloween H2O. And that's what I mean. That it doesn't feel tonally, and that's separate from setting it in Southern California. That's completely separate. But so there's a lot of issues that I have with Halloween H2O. And that's part of the reasons why. But it's certainly not the worst in the franchise, and I do understand why people like it. Okay, what's the time here? Have I missed any other super chats? I don't think I have. I just want to make sure. I got the member chats, but Dave screaming on the bus in motion. Yes. Resi, yeah. Who was Resi? Have we figured it out? Resurrection? Oh, Resurrection, you're trying to say. Resurrection. I get it. Resurrection took a crap over everything H2O did. It did. Yeah, it did. Just like Halloween 5 took a gigantic dump over everything Halloween 4 did. Oh yeah. Halloween, listen, folks, I don't deny that. I don't deny that. The Halloween franchise is one of the most ridiculous franchises out there. I love it. It's my favorite character. my favorite horror movie of all time, the original, my favorite horror franchise, because of the character. But, I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's all good. It's not. And I'm not one of those people that jumps on the bandwagon of, oh, look, we have a choose your own adventure. No, it wasn't designed that way. I mean, sure, you can look at it now. You can, if that helps you sleep at night, if that helps you justify incompetence, sure. But the reason we have a choose your own adventure is not because of some intentional thing they tried to do. It's because of sheer filmmaking incompetence and greed. That's why. And so, stop, start. That's why. And I'm just like, yeah. Folks, I know this is not box office, you don't say this in show business, but sometimes it's okay when stories end. There's value in stories ending. There's magic in stories ending. It's important that stories end, because if stories never end, then nothing has any meaning. If stories never end, then characters never truly finish. Their arcs are never complete. They never go anywhere. And when I mean stories ending, I mean ending. I don't mean that they just stopped making movies because it got bad, right? Or they just stopped making movies because, nobody was going to the theater anymore. I don't mean that. I mean actual endings where arcs are complete. Whether that's living happily ever after, whether that's, living with uncertainty, whatever it is, there's value in that, even in the horror space. Which is, yeah, if nothing ever ends, what eventually will happen is they'll just stop making movies. So and that's what happens. And nobody ever gets an actual resolve. Nobody actually gets a resolution. It just ends because the movies are bad. And sometimes, or they do get endings, but endings that completely undermine their arcs that were being built prior. It doesn't make any sense. That's coming up in a video very soon where I talk about Halloween 5. The undermining of what was set before happens all the time. Pushing things in new and interesting or in new directions. It's a problem. It's a problem. And so, again, I mean, I'm not saying anything here over the last 10 minutes that I haven't said 1,000 times, but it bears repeating because it is avoidable. And although I love horror, and I love Halloween, and I love seeing my favorite horror characters on screen, I do, and maybe I look at it through a bit of a different lens because of my job, but I do think there is value in, and again, I know that's not, but there's value in stories ending. There really is. There really is. It's okay. It doesn't mean you're not a fan if you want something to end. It means you value storytelling and character and yeah, but to go on and on and on and on and on and on, it's just, yeah, that's why people like me, and I'm not the only one, but that's why you'll see fans like me going, whatever, it's just because and that doesn't make me more of a fan than you. I mean, I'm not a better fan than you because of that. We're just different fans, right? There are some fans that don't care. Some fans just want more. They don't care if it's good. They hope it's good, but they don't care if it's, ultimately at the end of the day, they hope it's good, but they don't care as long as Michael's on screen again. And I'm one of those people that's just like, nah, I would rather they just stop. Let it go. It's okay. It's all right. There's value in that. But inevitably what happens is that when they do let go, they let go at the wrong, rather than being in control of the narrative, they're chasing box office receipts, and they're no longer in control of where the story goes. They're no longer in control of how the story ends. Because what eventually happens, like I just said, is that eventually they just make a bad movie and it doesn't do very well, and the studio decides not to do another one, and now things are just left incomplete. And that sucks. That really sucks. And that happens all the time. I would much rather, I don't know if Scream 7 is going to be good. It might be great. There's a very good chance it will be great. It's going to do gangbusters at the box office. We know that because Sydney's back and Stu's back and all these others are back. But I would much rather, every time, even though Scream is yet to have a bad movie, I mean, if 3, I know, listen, that's up for debate, but I'm just saying Scream is yet to have a catastrophic failure like Halloween Resurrection or something. But every time you make a Scream movie, you do run that risk. Now, it's based on probability, but I'm just saying you do run that risk. And the more Scream movies you make, the more you continue to undermine Sydney's arc. The more movies she comes back for, is there going to be a Scream movie? It hasn't happened yet, but is there going to be one where that's just not really good at all, and it kind of ends and it feels icky and awkward and unresolved, and then they just never make another one, and you're like, and then now we as fans have to go, well, in my headcanon, she actually went here and it really ended after 5. And it's like, yeah, but we shouldn't have to fucking do that, right? Now we got to do, no, just end it. End it where she lives happily ever after and she's went off and had kids and got married and that's it. She doesn't have to always be injecting herself into the Ghostface fight. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and so unless it's properly motivated, and I understand that. But I just hope that 7 is good because you can push it. I'm telling you, folks, you can push it. You can keep pushing it, and Scream's gotten away with it. But if they keep making Scream movies, if they keep pushing it and keep pushing it and keep pushing it, just a little more, just a little more. It's like Deal or No Deal, right? Or some game show where you're like, I'll go for one more. I'll go for one more. I'll go for one more. And you're like, okay, we'll go for one more. And you're taking that risk. You keep going, but you keep running the risk of, you know, eventually they open up a case. It's like, and you lose everything, right? There's board games that are like that. There's game shows that are like that. And horror movie, you keep pushing it. You keep pushing. Yeah. I get it. I just hope there isn't. I hope this isn't the movie. And if it's not, I hope that part 8 or whatever it is, there isn't that movie. There isn't Scream's Halloween 5. There isn't Scream's Halloween Resurrection, right? Where eventually everyone goes, and there it is. And then you look at how the movie ended and you're like, well, and they don't make another one because the studio's too afraid because of the backlash and the box office receipts. And now where are you, right? And then you got to go, well, in my world, Sydney's journey ended at Scream 5. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, you know, I get it. But, you know, we shouldn't have to do that. As fans, we shouldn't have to do that. We should have a story that actually is complete. Not us going, okay, well, I'll pretend that. And then Bob goes, well, my headcanon's 6. Well, my headcanon's 4. Well, it's like, oh. Anyway, I digress. Movie chat and more, $2, £2 just for the channel. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. All right, we'll go another 5 minutes and then we'll call it a day. Brandon Collins says, Scream is too financially successful for them to stop making them. They won't stop until they start losing money. It's a business. They will still jump the shark at some point. I agree with everything you've said, 100%. And that's for sure. I mean, again, you know, don't misunderstand me. I mean, you know, I do what. Obviously, I do understand how this works and why. I understand the why that they're doing this. I'm purely speaking from a filmmaking artist perspective that it's too bad there isn't more value in things actually ending. And I mean really ending. You know, because when it comes to storytelling, there's real weight in that. If you just continue to make movies with the same characters and nothing really ever ends, then there's really no stakes. I mean, there's stakes within their little stories, okay, but there isn't broader, bigger implications and stakes and meaning and it just doesn't. And it never ends. It never ends. It never ends. You know, you know, I mean, sometimes there's movies and series, like, you know, you take Indiana Jones, right? You know, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is not a very good movie, but there's something to be said about Harrison Ford, you know, Indiana Jones marrying Marion. I mean, yeah, of course, there's a lot of issues with that movie, but there's something to be said for that. They lived happily ever after, and he married the original girl he started with, right? You know what I mean? Like no, it wasn't, but there's something, there's value in that. There's romanticism in that. There's a completion in that. There's a full circle moment in that. And then they go off and make Dial of Destiny, which I didn't hate, by the way. But it does undermine sort of a bit of that, what you set up, right? You know, and so sometimes we got to know, listen, sometimes, as I posted on social media not long ago, sometimes one of the biggest things you can do for a story, one of the biggest values that you can give a story is letting go. Is knowing when to let go. Some of the biggest values, some of the most impactful moments, some of the greatest things that can happen in a story or a movie or a franchise is the moment it actually stops. not by way of diminishing receipts or, shitty movies, but by control of the storytellers. The storytellers having that control of knowing when to end. And sometimes those can be some of the greatest, most powerful moments in any franchise, in any television series, in any whatever. It doesn't just end. It ends under the control of those who are writing the stories. And man, they can be powerful. Knowing when to let go is extremely important. But, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. 2 more minutes. Okay. I've got all the super chats, right? I think I do. I want to make sure. I have. Just wanted to scroll back to my, I made a post not long ago and I want to make sure that I'm saying it correctly. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. No, where is it here? I think this is the social media post. Oh, was it that long ago? Oh. No, it wasn't that long ago. Hang on a sec. I thought I made it. Oh, maybe I didn't. Maybe it wasn't a social media post. Maybe it was in one of the videos I did. I just wanted to see exactly what I said. Sometimes I forget. Yeah, it must have been on one of my social media posts. Anyways, or in my videos that, I was basically saying that one of the biggest things a story can do is let go, is stop. One of the most powerful things is to stop. And it's true, ironically. Zach sends in $4.99. Thank you, Zach, and says, integrity in storytelling should be taken more seriously. It should be. But, like Brandon said, this is show business. And, as long as movies continue to make money, they will continue to find ways to make those films. And, I think it was in the video I did on Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera. And I think it might have been a Twitter post that I did. Yes, I think it was a Twitter post I made, which stemmed off of a video that I did on Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera not coming back. So let me just find that Twitter post quickly. I say here, dragging her back, blah, 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 blah. More isn't always better, and sometimes the most important thing a story can do is let go. Yes, it's true. It is true. But it's also show business. And I understand it. I get it. I totally get it. All right, folks. Well, listen, that is going to do it for me here on this episode of McRae Live. I want to thank you for joining me. Happy Easter to everybody out there. Thank you for watching A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge with me. I mean, hey, nothing says Easter like Freddy Krueger, right? Come on. But this was a lot of fun. Thank you to the super chats that came in, the member chats. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you for becoming a member thank you to my members for being members here on the channel. If you want to become a member here on the channel, hit that join button and become a member. We're doing member-only polls. I'm going to start pushing out member-first videos now as well. So if you want to get in on that, you know what to do. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This was a fun stream. And have a great rest of your Sunday. Have a great Easter, everybody. Again, happy Easter. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. All righty. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you soon. Cheers.